I have just watched, I am just watching yet another video about somebody staying abroad in a foreign country and having to learn a foreign language. And I can only say, as a musician and a person who loves to play with language, I'm Danish, but I can speak English and German and a little French and a lot of Swedish and a little Norwegian and a little bit of Russian because I think it's fun. So I've tried learning other languages, and what I realized is, as in music, you have to start slow. You have to slow down. Many people know this, many musicians know this, that you can't learn something like you have to go so if you want to learn the English London, you have to go la la, not lo. You know, there's this wonderful Anton something who has videos about the cosmos. He says a lot. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things, and it sounds like a load of things. So, learning English, you have to distinct. You have to dis, you have to distinguish between load and lot, and then American lot and other dialects and all that. For example, in Swedish, I think they have something they don't notice. When they say daddy, not father, father is fader, it's very old fashioned. But daddy is farsan, or it was at some point in time, farsan. But it's farsan, only they don't pronounce it that way. They say farsan. They have this word fresh, it's called färsk, but they say färsk. They have peaches, they called persikor, but they say persikor, which has nothing to do with the Swedish way of incorporating English word, like schysst, just, or maybe that was French, you know, juste. It became schysst. And the Swedish language is all too fucking, pardon my French, all too interesting. The SK sound, whip, a ship, is SKEPP, because otherwise it would be whip, and that is the destiny or the way you are created. Another whip. I think I'm running dry, but anyway. So if you want to learn, for instance, Sweden, you have to slow down. I'm getting back to the thread now. So slow down and take. So many people don't know how to pronounce the German, Swedish, and Danish umlaut. O umlaut. You know, the O with two dots over it. And it's or depending on where you are. German, schön, schon, and in Swedish, more like förr, förut. Nej men hör nu, instead of nej men hör nu, eller hör. In Danish, which is island, dø, which is die, sø is a lake, a sea, but it's the same word as sea, but it's used on a lake, like in Russian, ozera. And they call the ocean more, which mare in Italian. There's all sorts of connection. But back to the pronunciation. You have to slow down and listen. We had this in French school, in French classes. We had what was called language laboratory. I think it was an American invention, but it was still very efficient. You know, Trump. But and it was very efficient. You had tapes running. I sat in a little booth with a tape recorder. I could push, and there was a little bit stop, pause, start, fast forward, fast backwards, play, 6 buttons. 7 buttons. Old joke. La garage est tout à fait près de la journaux. What? The garage is close to the journal, or was that a week? Anyway, because a journal is from French, but it's journée is a week. So there's a connection too. But then I could wind back it, and I could hear again, regrette rien, non, je ne regrette. Never mind. Back to the pronunciation. It's better, particularly in French, if you're Anglophone, if you are speaking English as your mother tongue, specifically, you think that there's a lot of things we have in Denmark. We have in Denmark. Thank God. Thank you, actually. We have we drive cars, and one of the cars is in French Peugeot, which is Peugeot or whatever. So there's that, that you have adapted the French language, but your pronunciation has changed very, very much. Just like, there's an Irish name. I looked it up. I Googled it, Van, because of Van Morrison, of course. And I Googled the name, and it's an old Irish name that has nothing to do with the French, the Dutch, Van, which is Van. The same as the German von Rauschenberger, one of my classmates. He had a German name, von Rauschenberger. The German people are very good at pronouncing French because they have a little bit of the same rolling R. And by the way, that rolling R is r, but it's rien, rien. It could be, it could become noise. And it's because of a French king who could not say rien de rien. His tongue was sort of inhibited. The same thing happened to a Spanish king. He could not say se. He said th. So that's why Spanish has th, and French has r for the same reason. And in southern France, they don't so much. And there was this Norwegian linguist who talked about this, and she said that she told me this about the French king, and later I heard about the Spanish king. Also, the French king may be the same. Louis XIV, not 14, 14. Louis, not Louis, Louis XIV. He also was the first person to wear high heels. So there. But all that aside, if I were to pronounce English as Danish do, I would say, how do you do? Would be, how do you do? And I'm fine, thank you. Im fine, thank you. I was feeling a bit down this morning. I was feeling a bit down this morning. But I'm fine now. Im fine, no. Would im fine, no. And a French person would say, bu un fin, neuve. There's conflict there because they don't have this W. And the Germans have the W. They say Weissmüller, Schwarzenegger, not Schwarzenegger. No, his real name is Schwarz. He's an Austrian, right? So Schwarz with the rolling R, Schwarzenegger. Yeah. And Adolf Hitler was an Austrian too. His name was Jusnik Bruchnefei because he took the Hitler. It was Hitler and there was body. Alois, his father took the name. Never mind all that. So I'm straying all the time from the lead track or main track. The pronunciation that you have to do slowly. I should really get down to examples, really, shouldn't I? The Peugeot or the Peugeot, the car, is Peugeot, and in Danish, Pêcheux, because everybody got that wrong. Is sure it's a Peugeot, not pêcheux, pêcheux. J is the G that you also have in German, so that you got from the French. So, and the EU is E. It's like the German O with umlaut. They just didn't like that way of doing things, so they wrote it EU, Europe. They don't say the French don't say Europe. They say Europe, Europe. So you see O, Europe becomes Europe, and you have to slow down to really hear those details that matter. You see, young man, if you exaggerate those differences enough, you can actually make a caricature that may clarify a bit about what actually goes on when you speak. In Danish, that sound E, speak, is an I. Mirage. What happened to your language? The English language is the most inconsistent spelled language in the world. And it's also lingua franca, as they call it. Lingua franca is an Italian expression for, I don't know if it's connected with the word frank, as in free, frankly, free. In Danish, free, frank, and fro are free. Frank is honest. Fro is happy and free, and they're all connected. I looked it up. So I don't know if Frank comes from the Franks and why the Franks got the name. It could be there. It could be the other way. These people are Frank. Okay, we call them the Franks. Because the Slavs, Yugoslavs, and yogurts, I don't know. They were slaves. They got their names because they were slaves. I didn't do that. Did I do that? That. Back to the pronunciation. You have to be conscious about how you pronounce every little syllable and it's not really difficult, because if it were difficult, little children wouldn't be able to do it. But it seems like Chinese people, they do this hang-jur all the time. And the Japanese go, because they're crazy. I mean, the Japanese, sorry, this is off topic. The Japanese are the only ones who have religions that are not religious. They have everything has spirit, nothing has spirit. It's a kind of black and white. Maybe they invented the yin and yang symbol. I don't know. No, they didn't. But they were sun worshippers. That's just black and white. I mean, there's more to it, right? There's more to it. For that matter, you just have to check out Dean Radin, Dean Radin, Dean Radin. And then Rupert Sheldrake, you know how to spell that. And lots of other people who can tell you that there is more. There's more. Like Todd Rundgren sang in a song with his band Utopia. Everyone is mine, no one left behind. That's a quote from the Bible, in terms, sort of. And there's more. Come another year, Utopia is here, and there's always more. There's more interplanetary deal. There's international field. There's more interplanetary deal. There's more into the galaxy appeal. There's more universal ideal. All that, it's a very good poem set to music fantastically by Todd Rundgren. But anyway, a Swedish American. I'm not proud of anything. I'm just saying that's another fact. The best music in America, the most renewing music was written by African Americans. So it's not that I'm proud of anything. It's just I'm just saying this happened, that happened. Back to the language. Um, so the Danish language has this reputation of being the very hardest language to learn. So to give some examples. Oh yeah, uh, I'll do that in a minute. But first, why do people in America say imagine? Is that because you're not there? There. It's spelled imagine. Do you think it was I imagine? Imagine? And never mind. You can do that as long as you want. To the Danish pronunciation, I'll give you a couple of examples of things that are traditionally mentioned. Rødgrød med fløde. So that's what just happened. So you have to slow down. So you have the French R. Rød. It's just what down the road. No, it's O, but then it goes w, w. So rød, is it worth it? Rød, is it worth it? Rød. So there you have that w sound there. Rød. Then what's happening at the last part of that is the, as in the man, the woman, the child, the world. Rød. And then there's something more going on. So, rød, 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 rød. So, rød, rød. It's not that pronounced. It's rød, rød. It's like rød, 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 rød. Worth it? Rød, rød. And yeah, if you speak English, the rød is hard. Is you make r, but you just have to learn that one thing. That's the only thing you don't have over there is that R. All the other things you have. Oh yeah, there's another one. The L. The L is like the English L, L, or even the French le, lade, lo, long, long. It's not la, la, la. You don't have to expand so much. So la, 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 la. Not la la la. I love this. You just go silly, silly, Sally, daily, le. That's one. I think you call it the soft L. On Ally McBeal, it was called the soft L. It was Lucy Liu. And she said it's Liu with a soft L, not Lou with a hard L. So that you can call a soft L. Lykkes, lades, lang, lod, lag. We don't at all in Swedish, in Norwegian, in German, in French, in Danish, in many other languages. We don't use la. We use la, le, la, la, not la. So there, and then there was the other one. We really don't speak English because we really don't have your R's. Don't worry, I got you 6. So, in short, and this has been 20 minutes and 8 seconds, you have to slow down the pronunciation. So slow it down, just like in music. What did you say? Bum bum ba da 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 bum ba da ba da bum ba da bum ba da 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 ba da ba da da ba da 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 da. Ba-da-lee-dee, dum-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-dee-da-da-dee-da-da-da, ba-ba-dee-doo-doo-doo, ba-dee-doo-doo-doo. If you want to learn that piece of music, it goes ba 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 da doo bum bum ba doo da doo dum ba doo dum ba doo 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 da doo dum da da dum da dee dum da dum ba 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 bum ba dee da dum da da dee 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 do 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 ba da 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 dee 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 ba da 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 da. Wrong. Anyway, so that's all for this. This is far too much to be enough. So whatever, slow down, slow down, boy. Hey, slow down, boy, and exaggerate, caricaturize. New Zealand, Australia is fair out, but we really fear out because there is this transition in vowels, kaka, and Danish has 9 vowels, but we have I think twice as many sounds on vowels. Russian, Russians have very few vowels, but they have such a bucket load of. They have s, the s, which is a c. Of course, they spell c like ceremonially. No, no, whatever. And they have this t, s, t. That's a letter. They have a letter for that. They have the z. They have sh, and they have sh, and then they have those with voice, sh, and sh. I told you to be quiet, and why are you talking still? Sh. I told you to be quiet. Sh. Тоже Pisa, 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 Pisa. Peaceful, quiet. Um, that was probably way out wrong, but anyway. So Russian language has a lot of s's and zhenshina is a young girl. It's it's the opposite of Danish, but knowing both is shows me that there's a lot of sounds we don't have, like the Southern African click language, which I don't know what's called, where Trevor Noah speaks. They show, and well, I could have said this very, very simply. Slow down. You want to learn a foreign language, you can't just speak it. You have to notice every sound and make sure that you know the single sound, just as if you were learning bum bum ba dum dum ba ding da da ba da bum ba dee da 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 ba da ba dee ba da da la 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 da bum ba dum dum da 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 dee 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 da da da. I don't speak Portuguese, but I can sing 15 songs in that language, so I know those words. And I had to learn one line at a time, of course. Se você disser que eu desafino amor, and then the desafino amor, saiba, saber, saiba, savvy. I know the meaning of the words, but I had to learn. The point is learning them slowly. Important thing is that you have to get the details right. In Danish, you have to get the details right. So you see, details and details is not the same. Details and details and tails and tails. Tails, details. There's a point where the British English is the same as the American English. Not in American, not American, but details, because that's when the L is hard. I actually found it round and soft anyway, but they called it hard. Liquid is a soft L, which I find small and pointy, and presumably hard. Well, can I say more about that? No, but I can repeat that when you learn a new language, you are like a child or like an idiot. The child is curious, the idiot is not. And that's it.